You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. As always, please subscribe, please comment, please share, whether it's on YouTube or iTunes, wherever you're listening, please interact with these videos. It helps us to take this content out to more and more people. Today, I'm really excited, man. We got an internet celebrity with us today. We have an internet celebrity. That's and this is the power of social media these days. There's a channel that you can look on TikTok and on Instagram. The guy's name is It's Daniel Mack, at It's Daniel Mack. And what It's Daniel Mack does, what his thing is he walks up to people with nice cars and asks them what they do for a living. And it's kind of funny because if you watch a couple of them, you'll get sucked in, and you'll watch more and more and more. And then as you're watching these, you'll see this white Ferrari pull up, and he asks this guy, what you're doing there? Hey, what do you do for a living? And what do you do, Nick?
Roofing and real estate.
Roofing and real estate, man. And so, but what's cool about Nick, and we'll introduce Nick here in a second, but what's cool about Nick is he didn't just take the attention that he got from that social media video. He reached back out to It's Daniel Mack, and took him for a ride in the Ferrari. He took him out and bought him a Gucci backpack and a new camera to upgrade his production level for his social media, right? So that's what really drew me to Nick, not only being in the roofing industry, but also just his personality of helping people grow and accomplish their goals and their dreams. So that's what we're really going to talk about today. This is Nick Royer in Dallas, Texas, one of the most competitive markets in the country. And Nick, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about how you came to be in roofing? It's a great story.
Yeah. So before I go, you guys got to have an understanding of who I am and where I'm from before we even get into the roofing thing. So, let's see. First, before I even go into the childhood, just know that a lot of things that I'll say, I definitely am piggybacking, copycatting, whatever you want to say, off of people that I look up to for influence, like a Tony Robbins or David Goggins. So I don't want me to say stuff and people go, okay, I hear. I'm telling you, those are the biggest guys that influence. So I might say things along the lines of what they say as well, because they're a huge influencer. So sum up 34 years and hopefully just a few minutes. Born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a product of two parents that raised me and loved me. And I got three siblings. I got a brother that just retired from the Marine Corps. He was a pilot. I have two sisters. So I'm one of four. But my dad's one of 14 kids. So I will repeat that. My dad is one of 14 kids. I had the most incredible childhood you can imagine. Not because I was raised with a silver spoon, just because I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, very blue collar. My childhood, the best comparison I could give is like a sandlot. Every neighbor, we all knew each other. We all loved each other. Everybody had their front door open. We knew every one of our neighbors, and there was a baseball field 2 streets away that every single day in the summer, me and the neighborhood kids would just get together and play baseball every day. So my childhood was incredible because I had friends. I had a ton of family. I think I have well over like 35 first cousins. But my childhood was amazing because I just was surrounded with just great people. And Cleveland, Ohio was a great place to grow up. So when I was 6 years old, I might have been 5, I might have been 7. Let's just say 6 years old. I went to my mom because all I wanted was when the ice cream truck would come around in the summertime, all the kids was just do a dead sprint. Well, I didn't have any money to pay for an ice cream truck, right? Because I'm 6 years old, give or take. So I go to my mom. This was like defining moment. I'm going to talk about a lot of defining moments that happened throughout my life. First defining moment, I was, let's say, 6 years old. I go to my mom. I ask her for money for the ice cream truck. And she goes, no, it doesn't work like that. And I said, I don't know. I just need like $1. And she goes, no, if you want money, you got to go get a job. That's how it works. When you want something, you don't just come and just get it. It doesn't work like that. Okay, fine. So me and my brother, my best friend, inseparable. He's 2 years older than me. So I'm 34 right now. He's 36. We huddle up in our bedroom because we shared a bedroom. And we said, what are we going to do? So what we decided to do was gather all of our toys that we didn't play with, that we didn't have any care for, the stupid presents that your aunt gets you that she doesn't even know what you like. We take everything that we could compile that we don't want, and then we went door to door and we sold them. So keep in mind, I'm 6 years old. I have a speech impediment. I can't pronounce my L's and my R's. So I went through speech impediment classes when I was younger. So I have a speech impediment, and I didn't care because it didn't matter. I was with my brother. I was safe. I felt comfortable in the environment, and I became obsessed. So we went door to door. And so I would knock on people's doors. I did everybody's door on our street. And I said, hi, my name's Nicholas Warrior. And here's my brother, Jonathan. And we just want to sell you toys that we don't play with. And everybody said no. Okay, fine. Everybody said no. And when you're 6 years old, you're not going to cross the street, right? It's like the story, like you want to run away until you got to cross the street.
Yeah. So
we stuck inside our street. So, okay, plan A didn't fit. Plan A failed. What next? Plan B, let's go. We decided that we would go door to door, and instead of selling something, because everybody already said no, let's just ask them if we could do something for money. Okay, fine. We went door to door the next day. Hi, this is Nicholas Warrior. This is my brother, Jonathan. Can we just do anything for money? Can we, can I mow your grass? Can I take your trash out? Can I wash your dishes? It didn't matter. I just needed to get money. And my mom wouldn't give me money. My dad definitely wouldn't give me money. All I need is $1. I don't need $100. I don't need $1,000. I just need enough money for the ice cream truck. So I got through half the way. I got halfway down the street. This guy, out of pure pity, just said, yeah, that's fine. You could cut my grass starting tomorrow. Do you have a lawnmower or do you want me to give you mine? And we're like, no, we could do it. He goes, all right, come up tomorrow. I'll give you guys each $5. And we were like, oh my God, $5 for a 6-year-old kid? That's like, at that time, I'm 34. At that time, that's like 2 weeks of ice cream truck money, right? So that was it. Defining moment, first defining moment of my life is sales. And I mastered the ability to understand that if you keep asking, eventually somebody has to say yes. It is a mathematical, it is a scientific proven fact. If you keep asking, somebody will say yes. And if they don't say yes, then you follow up with, do you know somebody that might be interested? And they might say yes. Defining moment of my life. Let's fast forward throughout my childhood. It was unbelievable. Great childhood. I'm 5'1". I'm 110 pounds, dripping wet. I'm going into my freshman year of high school, and I wanted to be on the football team. I went to a private high school in Cleveland, Ohio, and we were a powerhouse in football, in basketball, in track. We were a powerhouse. So if you want to be part of the football team, it is mandatory. It is non-negotiable. You will do summer workouts. If you don't show up to every workout session, we won't even blink an eye. You're not even on the team. So I go into workouts. I realized within minutes I'm like a boy amongst men. So I developed a huge insecurity because in middle school, in grade school, everybody's relatively the same height, the same weight. Everybody kind of is, you mingle, you mesh. Well, in high school, it was a different beast. So within the first workout, I realized I'm not gonna cut it. Then I go to the first practice. I ain't gonna cut it. So I take this huge insecurity, not depression. I take this huge insecurity, and I realize, okay, let me take out my insecurity and this frustration, and I'll exhaust myself in the weight room. So I'm frustrated. I have to cope with not being big enough. I'm going to work out really hard. I'm frustrated. I'm not tall enough. I'm going to work out really hard. I'm frustrated. I'm not strong enough. I'm going to work out really hard. So freshman year of high school, I started to exhaust myself in the weight room. Throughout freshman year, the first time I did the max out in the bench press, I did 135 pounds. Started my sophomore year, I was benching 255 pounds. Started my junior year, I was bench pressing 315 pounds. So it got to a point in my junior year of high school, the weight I'm lifting is just going through the roof, but then my body weight isn't really going up that much. So I realized I realized I was getting really strong. But basically junior high school, my buddies come to me and they're like, dude, you gotta look into competing. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And they're like, listen, for how much you lift, for how your weight, you've gotta be stronger than pound for pound kids your age and weight class. Okay, well, I'll look into it. So I look up a local competition, I enter it. I entered a local powerlifting competition and I got disqualified on a rule technicality because I didn't understand powerlifting. Powerlifting is when you have to bring the bar to your chest, have the bar pause, and wait for the judge to tell you when to press it. Well, in the high school weight room, you're just cranking it out, right? Okay, so I get disqualified. Minutes after I get disqualified, I'm saying to myself, I tried it. I'll just go back to the high school weight room and work out with the guys on the team. Okay, well, I get approached from a guy, defining moment in my life. His name is Vic Voinovich. He's in Cleveland, Ohio. He was 5'4", not an ounce of body fat on his body. He was a former high school state champion wrestler. Anybody that follows high school wrestling, Cleveland, Ohio is known for the most predominant high school wrestling in the country. He was a state champ in high school. He had a private gym. What he said to me was, I can tell your form and technique is terrible, but I can tell you have some strength. I'm going to give you an opportunity to train in my gym. I'll do it for free, but I got a group of guys going. So why don't you meet me there Monday? Okay, this is a Saturday. I meet him there Monday after school, and he goes, I'm going to run you through these tests to get a gauge for how really strong you are in some exercises, and then we're going to talk after. Okay, takes us to this workout. After we sit down in his office, and he goes, I will train you, and I will invest time in you because I can see that you're a good kid. I can see you have a good family, and I can see you have potential. But here's the deal. You miss, and I'm not going to charge you, but here's the deal. You miss one workout, we're done. You ever say the word that I can't in my gym, we're done. You show up late to a workout, we're done. I will tell you right now that if you give me everything that you have, I can make you a world record holder in the bench press. And I said, what are you talking about? I just met you 3 days ago. I've never done powerlifting. I think I'm pretty strong compared to guys, but I said at that point, let's go. Let's do it. When I was 16 years old, I started with him. The first meet, when I tell you that he tested me, it was like Navy SEAL training for obvious, not Navy SEAL training, but in my head, like when I look at it now, he pushed me to a level I could never go to. He pushed me to a level I never thought was fathomable. You want to talk, I would bleed, I would sweat, and I would cry. He got me to a level that I never thought was possible. And so he would push me and he would push me. And I'm telling you, in workouts, I would bleed, workouts, I would cry, and I would definitely sweat. So here we are. The first meet that we do, I break a state record. The next meet that I do, I broke the record that I set before. The third meet that we do, I break a national record. So here we are, and I'm 18 years old. And this is the only competition that I could do before I turned 19 to break this world bench press record. The bench press record was 397 pounds. I go into that meet. This is 2 years after I started training with Vic, and I broke the record. I bench pressed 401 pounds. I weighed 161 pounds. I had so much anxiety 2 days leading up to the competition that when I tell you that I didn't eat, the only thing that I remember eating was a Subway sub and a bag of pretzels the day 2 days prior. Other than that, I had so much anxiety that I didn't eat at all. So I weighed in lighter than I had ever weighed in before. So basically, defining moment in my life, I realized at the age of 6, you keep asking, someone's going to say yes. I realized at the age of 14, listen, instead of just being depressed, instead of being insecure, you work through it. You own it, okay? So then, age of 18, here I am. I broke a world record, drug-free powerlifting. What it taught me was that if I exhaust myself, if I give 110% towards something, I can literally accomplish whatever I want. And so that was my logic as an 18-year-old. So let's go into that. Because I only cared about hanging out with friends, partying on the weekend, and powerlifting throughout high school, I paid absolutely no attention towards getting good grades, towards studying, towards being a good student. So what happened? Well, I didn't get into college. Because why would a college take me if I had terrible grades? We'll talk about the Ferrari license plate because my Ferrari license plate says 2.2 GPA. We'll talk about that later. So basically, here I am, I'm 18 years old, and I'm graduating high school, and I feel great about myself where I'm at, But then I didn't get into college. So what do? I just started working more jobs than a Jamaican. I literally I washed dishes. I was a personal trainer. I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch. I worked construction. From the age of 18 to 20, I was just like spinning the wheels, and I was working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks in these I don't want to say dead end jobs, but I was just working. So here I am. And the most important conversation you ever had with anybody is the one you have with yourself. It's not with God. It's not with your wife. It's not with your spouse. It's not with your best friend. There's a couple times in my life I've talked to myself out loud. One of the conversations I talked to myself out loud is I was driving home from work, and I was 19, 20 years old. And I said out loud in the car ride, I said, what are you doing? And then I just started thinking about it. Okay, well, I don't want to wash dishes the rest of my life. I don't want to work at the mall the rest of my life. Okay, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to train people. Why? Because I feel good when I do it. Why do you feel good when you do it? Because I feel good when I can help people. Okay, so let's just become a personal trainer full time. So that's what I did. I started becoming a full-time personal trainer. I loved it, but it was pretty exhausting, right? Because I want to give 110% of myself to somebody. When you're giving a personal training session, when you're giving a coaching session, yeah, it's going to be draining after a while, right? So I did it for a year or two, worked my way into management. Then I worked my way into sales. Then after I started selling, I got so good at selling, I started consulting health clubs. So what I did was comparable to like bar rescue for gyms. I would go into gyms that were financially struggling. I'm talking down 10,000 in the hole every month, 20,000. One gym I was at was losing $30,000 a month. It was in Davenport, Iowa. It was a Gold's Gym. Within 8 months, they were profiting 20 grand a month. They were profiting 30 grand a month. I would go in there and I would literally take the staff, give them a pep talk, and then over time, all the cancers, all the negativity, I got them out. And I just injected these gyms with positivity, with structure, with accountability. You have to keep in mind, I'm going into gyms that have been existent for 15, 20 years with the same staff. All right. So like teaching an old dog new tricks, that's pretty tough. So I would go into these gyms and I would say, listen, there's a new sheriff in town. All right. And your owner, I wouldn't say this, but I would have to present a presentation to these staff to say, your owner is paying me to come into your gym and get the numbers up. So whatever you're doing, it's not working. Because if it was, I wouldn't be here. So how do you say that to a staff that's been underperforming for a decade? Well, I found a way to do it. And so that's when I started consulting. It was an unbelievable experience. I had a gym I lived in Iowa, I did Ohio, I did Florida. I had 3 Gold's gyms. I was managing in South Florida. Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, and Port St. Lucie. So I do that. One thing leads to another. I'm out of the fitness industry. I call a guy that I grew up with in Cleveland that went to school at TCU. If you're from Cleveland, you don't go to college at TCU. It's really random. It's a rich kid school. A lot of kids go there with money. So my buddy grew up with money, grew up with privilege. And so he stayed in Texas. He stayed in Dallas after he graduated. And I said, hey, man, I need an opportunity. Let me know if you have it. If you don't, it's not a big deal. But like I'm throwing out my resumes. I'm out of the fitness industry. I need something like ASAP. When I say ASAP, like yesterday, like I have a child. She's a few months old. I have a fiance. I have a family. Like I need something now. I'm making X. If you can tell me I can make a little bit more than X, then I'll jump ship. And he goes, yeah, I actually partnered with a roofing company. I don't know anything about roofing, but I partnered with a guy that's been doing roofing his whole life. So why don't you do this? Why don't I get you out here and you could see what they're doing? But yeah, you could definitely make more than what you're making. Okay, fine. At that point, it did not matter what I needed to do. I don't come from a roofing background and I didn't know anything about roofing. So he could have literally he already told me that I could make more than what I was before. I could have landed in Dallas, Texas. He could have literally said, I just need somebody to just go take shingles and just put them on their back and just run them up to the top of the roof. And I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. When could I start? He could have told me, I just need somebody to go pick up nails on a job site all day long. That's fine. It didn't matter. I just needed to make more. So here's what I do. I move here. He picks me up from the airport. We go to lunch and I go, all right, so tell me about this. And he goes, well, here's the deal. You know how in Cleveland, we like never get hailstorms? I go, yeah, what's a hailstorm? He goes, yeah, it's crazy. It's like, little like snowballs that are really hard, fall from the sky, and then like they damage the property. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've never seen one in Cleveland. How does it work? He goes, here's how it works. Insurance companies come out and they'll pay us to, replace the roof and other things. So what we do is we go out to homeowners that have hail damage. We offer a free inspection. And then, we try to get the insurance to approve the work, and then we'll just contract the work out. And I said, well, okay, well, how do we get these leads? And he goes, well, you just got to go door to door. And I went, well, okay, well, let's go. Well, what do I say? And he goes, I don't know, just ask people if they want an inspection. Well, okay. He goes, well, you're going to go out in the field with a project manager that's in sales. So you're going to go door to door. When you get a lead, get their name, address, and cell phone number. And then you're going to text it to this guy that you're working under. Okay, fine. It was a Wednesday. He handed me a polo that was a triple XL. Okay. I wear like a medium. All right. He gives me like a triple XL and I go, okay. First day was a Wednesday. I got 3 leads. Second day was a Thursday. I got 6 leads. The Thursday was a Friday. I got 9 leads. Now these project managers, these sales guys are calling up my buddy that owns a company. Like, hey, can I get that Royer kid to knock for me for a day? Hey, where's that Royer kid going to be at today? So 7 days later, we have softball hail that falls from the sky, complete tornado, hits Arlington, Texas, hits like Irving. I was going to say Irvine, that's California. Hits Irving, hits Arlington. And so it was just like baptism by fire. It's like, hey, I know you've been here for a week, but here's the deal. Just go out and sell. Okay. So here I am. I already knew how to get leads, but I don't know how to sign a contract. I don't know how to like go to an adjustment. Baptism by fire. I just saw an opportunity. And my buddy, he's not my buddy anymore. He's not telling me like details. He's not really saying like the details of like the job or like how much commission you can make. He's just like, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You'll make good money. I didn't know good money. He just told me before I can make more than what I was before. So here right now, I'm going out to the field and it's like I look back at it now and it was all a blur, but I was literally knocking doors like no less than 10 hours a day. And what happened was because I didn't know the process of insurance claims, I was not explained how you do the work and send the invoice to the insurance company, and the insurance company isn't going to pay you until they get the invoice. So what happened was I moved to Dallas and I had X in my savings account. Well, every single month, it's just chipping away. So it gets to the point where I'm like about to start running on fumes because I haven't been paid in like months, but I've got a lot of sales. So I go, dude, how does this work? When do I get paid on these jobs? And he goes, I don't know, send the invoice in. And I go, what's an invoice? And he's like, we got to send the invoice after the work's done. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. Who does this? What does an invoice look like? How do I make it? So here we go. And it's so hard to mentally grasp the fact that I'm doing unbelievable in sales. I have nothing to show for it. So what happened was my checking account, savings account goes to nothing. And I had my car repoed. I had a blue Honda Accord. From the time I got to Dallas, I shipped my blue Honda Accord out. So I took the fold-up ladder and I had it in my trunk. Every single time I met with an adjuster, they would say, you part-time roofer or full-time? I'm like, no, I do this full-time. Where's your truck? Every single time I would go, it's in the shop. Because now the perception that I have to a guy with, oh, by the way, Ohio license plate, living in the state of Texas doing roofing, that is the biggest red flag ever. Because what do I look like? A fly-by-night roofer. What do people not like? Fly-by-night roofers. Who do people not trust? Fly-by-night roofers. So in my head, I knew how to sell. I know how to gauge someone based on their mannerisms, their demeanor. So when an adjuster comes and I go, oh, truck's in the shop, he goes, oh, okay, sure, I've been there before. Okay, well, what happens when I see the same adjuster 3 months later? Truck's still in the shop? Yeah, those guys are really screwing me around. Oh, man, anyways. Okay, like you just figure it out, right? So basically, I got my car repoed. This is a defining moment in my life because I had 18 jobs. I don't forget things like this because it was a defining moment in my life. I had 18 jobs that I had already sold and we had already done the work that I had not been paid on. So in my head, it's like, again, I feel so accomplished because of what I've done, but I have nothing to show for it. As a matter of fact, I don't have a car and I'm waiting to get paid on 18 jobs. If you're in roofing, you know the average commission. If my average commission is X, I've got this much coming in, but I just got to get it. So here we go. I go into the office the next day and I said, I need to talk to you. And he goes, yeah, what's up? And I go, I don't ask you for anything, but I'm going to tell you my situation. I don't have a car because I got a repo because I'm waiting to get paid on all my jobs. Okay. So I'm not saying that you need to provide me a car. I'm simply saying that I'm your top sales guy. And without a vehicle, I cannot sell. So can you help me get a car? And he said, you know what? We got a car. Nobody's been driving it. You could take it. Okay. It was a Suburban that had no air conditioning and no working windows. Keep in mind, this is in the month of August. And if you've been in Dallas, Texas in the month of August, you already know where I'm going with the heat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't care. It didn't matter. It was either take the car and work and make money and get out of the hole that you're in, or don't take the car, swallow your pride, and just go apply to a gym down the street. And now you could go back to making the same money you were before and doing the same job you were before. No, I'm in too deep. I already burnt the ships. I burnt the boats. Okay. I said, okay, let's go. Here I am. Now I'm knocking 12 hours a day. This was the summer that Dallas broke a record for being over 100 degrees, 100 days in a row. So I'm driving a car where the air conditioning doesn't work. The windows don't go down. And it's not just, 75 and sunny. No, it's 112 degrees every day. I look at all time. I had to bring towels with me when I left my crappy apartment because I sweat. So I literally looked like I was just got out of the shower. Imagine driving, it's 114 degrees out. So you get where I'm going. So here we go, day by day, week by week, month by month. I just got out of the hole. I kept selling. I kept my head down. I stayed focused. I became obsessed. I went back to the kid that I was. When I was 6 years old, where it didn't matter. I just wanted money for the ice cream truck. I went back to that kid that went into powerlifting. And I did whatever it took. It didn't matter. Okay. When my trainer told me to lift it, I just figured out a way to do it. Okay. If I was up all night partying, I was still at the gym at 7 a.m. If I was up all night drinking, I was there. If I was up all night doing God knows what, and I got 2 hours of sleep, I was at the gym at 7 a.m. I became obsessed. And so I became obsessed. I said to myself, you're in too deep, get out of the hole, stay focused, and believe in yourself the same way you did when you were powerlifting. And so I did it. I got out of the hole. So here's where we're at now. Defining moment. I surpassed all the sales guys. I get out of the hole. I get a little bit of money in my bank account, and I surpassed the milestone in roofing the following year. So the guy that I was working for said, I'm going to give you a gift to reward you for being our top sales guy. Okay, fine. He talks about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. He goes, hey, next week's the big week. I'm going to take you to dinner and give you this gift. Okay, fine. He takes me to a nice restaurant, nice steakhouse. He sits me down, starts talking to me. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Can't tell you what you've done for the company. We always say in the office when you're gone, we had 10 Nick Royers, we'd be able to retire in 2 years. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. Okay, thanks. He hands me a watch. Okay, so I look at the watch and it's a Rolex. Keep in mind, I'm from Cleveland. I don't know what nice things look like. I don't know what nice things are. The house I grew up in was 1,000 square feet. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, I have a Rolex. Well, let me tell you about the Rolex. All right. The next day, I'm pushing my daughter in the Galleria Mall, and there just so happens to be a Rolex store. And I go, oh, that's cool. I got a Rolex. Wait a minute. My Rolex isn't working. Well, this is a coincidence. I'll just go into the store and have him fix it. I go into the store, tell the guy to fix it. He comes back 5 minutes later, and he goes, hey, dude, you got to take this back to whoever you got it. And I go, well, I got it from my boss, and it's like a really big deal. Hit like a really big sales milestone. So maybe you just need to just like, get a manager or something. And he's like, hey, dude, it's fake. And I go, there's no way. I call up my former employer, and I go, dude, you're never going to get this. Again, loyal to a fault. You're never going to get this. They're saying that the Rolex, it wasn't working. And, I went into the store to fix it, and they're saying that it's fake. So like, whoever you got this from, they just like stooped you. And he was just like, I wouldn't worry about it. And I was like, wait a minute. Did you know it was fake? And he goes, yeah, I had a pretty good idea. Defining moment of my life. Most important conversation you have with anybody is the one you have with yourself. I said out loud in the mall with my daughter in her stroller in front of me. I said to myself out loud, you're going to start your own roofing company and you're going to become a multimillionaire one day. That was it. My mindset was, if that's how you're going to treat me when I'm at my peak, when I'm the most valuable salesman, how are you going to treat me if I have a bad week, if I have a bad month? if I just go through what my whole logic was, if this is how you treat me now, how are you going to treat me in the future if maybe I have a bad month or two? So I just said, this isn't sustainable. I don't know how to run a roofing company. I don't know how to start one, but I'm going to figure it out. Just like how I did when I was 6 years old and I knocked doors. Just like how I was weak and I started powerlifting. I'll just figure it out, but I got to get people behind me that believe in me. I called my best friend one of my best friends from high school, who I had recruited to work with that roofing company. And I told him about the situation and he just starts laughing. He goes, dude, we're going to do our own thing. Let's go. And I was like, I know, but I don't know how to structure a roofing company. He goes, hey dude, you're being a roofer right now. You're overthinking it. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you got material, you got the labor, you got to go sell. You go sell, I'll handle everything else, and let's just go do it. I said, okay, I guess we'll just do it. That was it. So we start New View Roofing. Okay. The first year, it's just me and him. Mike Gibson, my business partner. He's the smart guy who's really intelligent. He's got a couple master's degrees. He was in the Air Force, and he's an introvert. He's not an introvert. He just doesn't like talking to people that much. And here you got me. I'm young. I'm dumb. I love to talk. I love people. I'm the extrovert. I could talk all day. Perfect team. I do all the sales. He does all the back office. Okay. He's finding ways to get the best quality material at the cheapest possible price to increase our margin. And meanwhile, I'm out. Well, now I'm going 12 hours a day because now this is my company. Now this is my name. So I became obsessed. I have to prove to myself. I have to prove to other people. I have to prove to the people that believe in me I can do it. I have to prove to people that don't believe me I can do it. I became obsessed. The first year, we made it by the skin of our teeth. We made it. We didn't make any money, but we didn't lose any of it. We just made it by. We got a lot of experience though. We went through trial and error. We tried crews. The crews that didn't work, we flushed them out. Okay. So the first year we're on to something. Second year, here we go. We got a lot more experience. We stopped making the same mistakes and we got better. We had better service, we had better workmanship, and we had more sales. Okay. So the first year we do a couple $100,000 in revenue and we made it. Second year, we did okay. We did just under $1 million in revenue and we were like, okay. So here we go. This is it. This is when New View was really made. After the second year of business, we have our end of the year meeting, just me and him. And we were like, take out the dry erase board and let's go. Let's talk about everything that we're doing that's right. Let's talk about everything that we're doing that has been giving us headaches. And we go, okay, I think we're good because the things that we're doing really good are way more than things that we're making mistakes on, things that we're doing bad. So what do we do? Let's expand. I think it's time. Who do we expand? How do we expand? I don't know, just call guys that we know that we could trust, that we know will work hard. And Nick, you know how to sell, just teach them how to sell. And me, I'll just keep doing my thing and running the jobs. Okay. We moved 9 guys from Cleveland, Ohio to Dallas, Texas.
I love it.
In January of 2015. And 3 months later, everybody's trained up. When I tell you training, I'm hard. Like when I train people, I'm hard on them. When I say I'm hard, like if you stand the wrong way, I'll say you need to stand up. Like get your shoulders back, stick your chest out. You look like an idiot. Like I'm hard. When we go door to door, I am literally critiquing the way that you breathe, the way that you stand, the way that you put your hands, the way that you wear your pants, the way that your belt buckle is showing. I critique you the way you tie your shoes. I am hard because to me, this is my brand. You don't know what I had to go through to get to where I'm at. So you either want to jump on the opportunity and listen to what I say, or if you don't, I don't care. Go back to working your 9 to 5, hating your life, making 50 grand a year. It doesn't matter. You're either going to be part of the brand or not. And that was my logic. And people listened and people did what I said. They did what I did. And here we go 3 months later. The perfect storm. We got softball-sized hail back to back within 5 weeks of each other. We went from doing maybe 4 roofs a week to 8 roofs a day. We went from 900,000 in revenue the year before. We did 18 million in revenue that year. And that's it. Ever since then, we have not done less than 14, 15 million in revenue. We are literally replacing hundreds of roofs a year. We're doing commercial work around the country, and we're nowhere where we can be, but we're a lot closer than we were a few years ago. We have guys that we take a lot of pride in what we do. We're ethical, we work hard, and we have a lot of fun. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's just unbelievable where if you become obsessed with what your goal is, it's just sickening almost what you can accomplish. And it's almost like the world is your playground. Like you decide how you.
Let's talk about a few of those things. So that's what you did is in every stage of it, you became obsessed, right? In every one of those milestones that you described, you became obsessed. So, you know, in that first milestone, when you were just going door to door with your brother, you know, you just became obsessed with, you're going to do something, right? Something is going to happen, right? You're going to get someone to give you money, right? Then, you know, when you were like 14, you said, you know, that milestone was you learned that to work through it. And then at 18 to give everything to get what you want. Like you have to give everything to get what you want. And I think that's a really strong statement when you say that you're obsessed, right? Is to give everything to get what you want. But one thing that I noticed with New View, what you did is you became prepared for the opportunity that was in front of you. Right? You became prepared by flying those guys from Cleveland, Ohio down to Dallas and training them up. Yes. You prepared yourself, right? And even the couple of years before that was preparation for what happened next, right? And now, of course, there were the storms that led to that advantage of, you know, that kind of jumpstart and kickstarted it. But you put in the work along the way, and so many people don't put in that work.
Yeah.
Right? They just don't put in the work. They think that there is much less work than what it really takes. What do you think about that? I think there's a lot of people out there that don't think that think it should be easier.
Yeah. I think that the number one reason why roofers don't succeed is for two reasons. It's because they don't work hard enough or they overthink the process. Okay. Yeah. Roofing is so easy that it is hard to explain. And that's my biggest sales pitch I give to these people that want an opportunity. I'm like, listen, this is so easy to do. It's hard to explain. You have to wake up. Okay. I'm not your alarm clock. You're your alarm clock. I'm not your boss. You're your own boss. You have to have the self-discipline to literally wake up in the morning, get out to the field, and go knock doors. And you just have to keep knocking until you get leads. Well, what if a lot of people say no? You keep knocking. Well, what if people say that they already had the roof inspected 2 years ago? You keep asking. What I'm saying is that you're absolutely right. And I try to simplify everything. And at the end of the day, it's just, you just need to be consistent. I think consistency is the biggest thing. Mindset's the biggest thing. But people need to understand that achieving a high level of success when you're going through the process, it's not fun. It's not designed to be fun. This is my mentality. This is not designed to be fun. Okay. Like my coach has always told me, practice is not supposed to be fun. If we have practices that are fun, you're going to lose every single game. You're going to lose every single match. You know what's fun? I'll tell you what's fun. What's fun is when you go into the game and then you win. That's what's fun. But if you guys want to have like a little pizza party every practice, yeah, we could do that every day after school. And then you're going to be crying, sulking in the car at home after every game because you're going to lose. Practice isn't supposed to be fun. Knocking doors isn't supposed to be fun. I make it fun. I make it enjoyable. I make it entertaining. I'll talk to my buddies on speakerphone, or I'll listen. I find ways to make it fun, but it's not fun. Knocking doors is not fun. Okay, having people tell you no, time and time again, that they're not interested in what you're trying to sell them, it's not fun. I'll tell you what is fun. What is fun is when the person answers the door and they say, "Oh my gosh, your ears must have been ringing." Because I just looked at my garage the other day when I was putting up Christmas lights and I noticed a leak. I had no idea who to call. Would you mind taking a look? Yeah. And then you know what else is fun? When I go up there and I see golf ball size hail damage. And then you know what's just fun? When the insurance comes out and they replace their roof and their gutters and their fence stain and window screens and the interior damage that they pointed out in the garage. You know what else is fun? When the customer has such a good experience that she leaves a review on Google. And you know what else is fun? When someone calls you and go, hey, I just saw your reviews on Google, and it looks like you guys know what you're doing. So I have a leak. I saw some lady leave a review on Google that she had a leak too, and that's how she got your info. That's how you replaced her roof. Would you mind taking a look? That's what's fun.
How many reviews do you guys have on Google right now?
I think currently we have over 500.
Over 500 reviews. Listen to that, guys. 500 reviews. It's part of their process. They hammer those reviews because they know that generates more business for their company, right? Another thing, Nick, is you're training a lot of sales guys in your company. How do you help them get into the mindset, or what do you learn about them or help them learn about themselves to become better salesmen?
I think the biggest thing is when people look at me and they look at what maybe some of the possessions that I have, okay, like the car, and they look at the level of success that I might have, which, by the way, I'm nowhere where I want to be one day, but they're looking at what I've built with my business partner, Mike. They're looking at this, and everybody comes going, just like the TikTok kid, what do you do? These guys come to me going, what does it take? Well, I'll tell you what it takes, okay? If you're ready to listen to me, I'll tell you. But don't ask me for the answer, then I give you the answer, and then you complain about the answer. No, I'm ready. Are you really ready? I'm really ready. Okay. Like, whatever I say you need to do, you'll do? Yeah, I promise. Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow, on your first day, I want you to meet me at 5 a.m. All right? And we're going to sit down at 5 a.m. You're going to drive to me at 5 a.m. You're not going to wake up at 5 a.m. We're going to meet at 5 a.m. We're going to sit down and we're going to have a coffee. And we're going to talk for 30 minutes about structuring your day. Oh, wait, I really got to start at 5 a.m.? You know what? This isn't the job for you. But what are you talking about? You don't get it. It's the principle. Is it really that important to tuck your shirt in? Yeah. I'm going to tell you why. Because if I'm knocking doors and I'm a homeowner and I own an $850,000 house and somebody's at my door and they don't have the self-discipline to tuck their shirt in, why would I trust you to replace the roof on a near $1 million home if you don't even have the discipline or self-respect to tuck in your shirt? It doesn't, I'm telling you, it takes 1.3 seconds to judge somebody based on their appearance, okay? So it's the principle. You think I like getting up at 5 a.m.? No. But do I do it to sharpen my mind? Yeah, I don't do it a lot, but when I feel it, I'm in a rut, that's what I do to get out of my plateau. So what I'm saying is, back to your question, what do I do? People that are legitimately interested, I sell them on not working with me. You don't want to do it. Why? It's really hard. It's okay. But you need to work a lot. It's okay. I'm used to working a lot. Yeah, but you know what? It takes a while to get paid. Yeah, it's okay. I'll do whatever it takes. Yeah, but you got to knock doors every day. But it's okay. I'll do whatever it takes. Okay. So then what happens is when it gets tough and they start telling me, I don't think I could do it. And I go, think about all the things that you sold me on why you should do it. That's your answer right there. You told me 4 months ago you do whatever it takes. You told me 4 months ago you keep knocking until somebody said yes. You told me 4 months ago you didn't care about any sacrifice you'd make to work for the company. If you want to make $500,000 a year, you better believe there's going to be some headaches that go along with it. Okay? That's just part of the process. So my thing is, I find people that have a history of being resilient. Okay? Former college athletes, right? I just hired one of my best friends to come work with me. He played Division I football. Listen, he used to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day and do workouts in the snow for Bowling Green football. He's used to it. He has that mental fortitude to get through it, okay? My business partner, he was in the Air Force, right? He knows what it's like to go through rigorous training and go through these crazy tests. He gets it. So my thing is, find people that have that kind of fortitude in them where they already know how to overcome conflict or bad situations. And then people you could trust is it. I mean, I don't know how an algorithm, or I don't know what type of analogy, but I would say it's like, I could say it's 50-50. 50%, you got to have a strong work ethic. 50%, I got to trust you, right? How much can I trust that you're going to, when you say 9 a.m., you're going to be there at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? When I say wear this polo with these pants because it's a better color coordinating and you look that much more likable to the door, how much can I trust that you're going to do it? Right? So it's just like little things like that I meticulously pick through. But yeah, I find people that have a background of going through conflicting situations and working through them.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's hard enough.
What do you think the greatest insight is that you can share with our audience that has helped you find success in the roofing business?
You got to be coachable. I think the biggest thing is be coachable. I mean, the year that we sat down, the year that we did 18 million in revenue, Mike and I, my business partner, sat down and said, all right, well, let's talk about things we really need to improve on. Like that was how we started the meeting. The meeting didn't start off, oh man, let's sit back. Where are we going to go on vacation? What resort are we going to go to? Maybe we could go do this. No, it was like literally like, how can we get better? Well, think about it. We went from 900,000 in revenue to 18 million. And we're having a conversation of everything that we needed to get better. So you got to be coachable, right? And be open, because at this point in life, the way social media is, I'm sorry, I'm here to give my opinion. So I'm wrong a lot more than I'm right. My opinion, if you're not on social media, if you're not doing videos, you are a dinosaur. You are literally on the verge of becoming extinct if you're not on social media posting videos. That's just how it is. I'm not saying you need to like it. I'm just saying that's the society we live in. You have to post on social media. Well, social media is not for me. Well, then success isn't for you. What do you want me to tell you? You want my keys to success? That's what you need to do. You think I like getting up at 6 a.m. doing cardio? No, but it works. You think I like eating eggs every morning for breakfast? No, but it helps me keep my weight down. It's just how it is. Like, you have to be coachable. You have to evolve. Look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban will go down as arguably the best college football coach in the history of college football. I'm an Ohio State fan, die hard. I hate to say it. It's just the facts. Look at the style that Nick Saban coached when he was at Michigan State, right? Look at the ratio of how much he ran the ball compared to how much he threw the ball. Now look at his offense right now, right? Nick Saban is the epitome of always improving, never being satisfied, always not switching things up, but always finding ways to improve. That's Nick Saban. And that's why he is the best ever. Look at how he's changed over time. That's roofing. That's any other industry, right? Right now, there has never been a better time in the history of mankind, in my opinion, to own a business or be a sales rep because of the platform you can have on social media, okay? I don't have millions of followers, right? But I think that I put out good content. I'm confident in it. I don't pay for followers, right? I do it organically, and it's paid off, right? But listen, it's social media is it. There's never been a better time to really build your brand because of how many platforms that you have. Listen, understand something. 3 months ago when you told me that I should get a TikTok account, I rolled my eyes and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that's for like 12-year-olds. And no. Well, then here we go. And my daughter, 9-year-old daughter goes, hey, Dad, I think you should get a TikTok account. No, I don't want one. But it'd be fun if we did some dances. Okay, well, my first objective in life is to be the best dad that I possibly can. So, yeah, I'll do it. So what do? I get TikTok. What do? Download a few videos doing some cute dances and fun dances with my daughter. How are you and I having a conversation? It's because I got a TikTok account. Because I got a TikTok account, I started following Daniel Mack. Then Daniel Mack approaches me in a gas station parking lot and asks me what I do for a living. Then here I am, 9,000 followers later on Instagram. I have opportunities nationwide to go on podcasts. I'm flying to Vegas in 2 weeks to meet with a guy that hosts celebrities on his podcast. And he called me to say, hey, let me hear your story. Then I told him my story. And he said, how soon can you come to Vegas and be on my podcast in my studio? I'm just saying, here I am 3 months ago. And I think that it's stupid. It's a waste of time to be on TikTok. And then I get a TikTok account. And here we are. So I'm coachable, and I think that every roofer, every roofing owner knows you got to be coachable. Listen, if you do 30 million, that's awesome. You could probably do 40 million next year, though, if you change a couple things.
That's awesome, man. How can people find you on social media?
New View Nick. That's my name.
New View Nick. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.